Hey everyone, we're at Gen Con 2019 and I'm joined by Bruce. Bruce, how's it going?
It goes fantastic. How are you doing? Let's ask, how is your Gen Con?
My Gen Con is fantastic because I'm at the North Star Games booth and we're about to check out some awesome games.
Look at this. Look at the segue. Good work. Thank you so much for watching. Let's go through some of these fantastic North Star games. First thing I want to point out is Wits and Wagers. Wits and Wagers, it's Vegas, baby.
Vegas.
It's Vegas, baby.
Vegas, baby.
Here's what we've done. This just came out at Target Monday. Monday, July the 29th. I have no idea when you're going to be watching this. But whenever you are, July 29th, 2019, this came out at Target. It is also here at Gen Con. So it's a Gen Con, Gen Can't dual release. Here's what you need to know. A couple years ago, we put out the giant Wits and Wagers Vegas mat. It was 3 foot by 2 foot. You could swaddle a medium-sized dog in it. It was wonderful. It was also big, it was heavy, it was hard to move places, and it was a little expensive if you only own a couple of games and you're not the kind of person that just tricks your games out as far as you possibly can. But we loved some of the principles in it, so we decided to bring them to our Target release. So let me show you. Take a look down here at the mat. First difference is if you only are used to regular Wits and Wagers, and Wits and Wagers is a trivia game for people who don't like trivia. You're going to get asked a number question, you're going to write down the answers close without going over, and then you're going to bet on this here gambling board. So you're going to notice there's red and black. That gives you a chance to bet all the red numbers or all the black numbers. Over here, we have the tracker, 1 to 7. You put $1, $2, all the way up to $7. When someone's right, you're going to move the money over. Not only does it help track it, it increases the amount of money you're going to make as the game goes on. So as more money gets pumped in, it's going to make sense to try to be right. Okay? Next thing we did was we changed the look of things. So first of all, let's go back to the box with the crazy neon. It is just, wow, it's so Vegas. It's so unbelievably Vegas. We also redid the boards, so the boards look like casino cards. So they intentionally have that sort of like casino swirl look. The other change that we made is it used to be we asked you to order around the median. I've talked to your friends. They don't know what that means. So we've done this. If you're playing with 6 players, you just put that right in the middle, and you're just going to go from smallest to largest. If you're playing with 5 players, bam! You're going to put them on 2 sides from smallest to largest. Very simple, very easy to do. Play 7 questions. Takes about 15 to 22 minutes.
That's fantastic. And like you said, it's already available anywhere.
It is already available. Get it, buy 3 of them, and give them to 2 of your friends, and they're really going to appreciate it.
I haven't played this one. I've played the previous Vegas Wits and Wagers. It's fantastic. You should definitely check this out.
You already heard it. It's fantastic. What are you doing? Stop the video. Go to Target.com. and order one to your house right now. You're going to love every second of it. We both know this is true. You just need to learn it's true too. I'm sure there's a link somewhere. If not, you're probably near a Target if you're in the United States. Just get in the car. Stop the video. Get in the car. Go get the game. You'll learn how absolutely correct we both are about this.
What about the Canadian audience where I'm from?
Oh, I'm so unfortunately. So here's the good news, is a lot of you, a majority of you live right at the border. The bad news is we're going to ask you to come into our country to come get this because it is a Target exclusive right now. I do not know how long that will be for, but there are fantastic Wits and Wagers that are not this one if you're in Canada. If not, you're probably close to the border. Come in, get some of our ridiculous food, and go to a Target.
All right, you heard him. Everyone get your passports ready.
Get your passports ready. Come on down for... You already know you do it. Come on down for a couple of hours, get some ridiculous candy, eat an unreasonably large something fried, and stop at your local Target and pick this up.
Fantastic. Awesome. So what's our next game that we're going to take a look at?
Oh my goodness, let's hear. We're going to go to our next game.
Okie dokie.
This is the expansion to Quacks of Quedlinburg. It is called the Herb Witches. Quacks of Quedlinburg was the winner of the Kennerspiel de Jar 2018. 2019, of course, was Wingspan. This is the new expansion. So if you already know Quacks of Quedlinburg, first thing, it's going to add a 5th player. I know, right? Next, it's going to add books. It's going to add 2 new books to every single element in the game. So many books, a whole library full of books. It's also going to add, and I don't want to offend you or your audience, big-ass pumpkins. Big-ass pumpkins. So now there are 6 value pumpkins. They cost 22 that you can add to the game. Next, there is an overflow bowl. You've played Quacks, or you've at least seen Quacks.
I've played it once.
Okay, but no.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic game. You've got to play in. That's awesome. At the end of the spoon, people say to me all the time, Bruce, I go to the end of the spoon every game. No, you don't. You are a liar. No one goes to the end of the spoon. People say, oh my goodness, I do. So now there's an overflow bowl that goes next to the spoon. If you go off the edge, you can start putting stuff into the overflow bowl, and you're going to get the value of the chips in the overflow bowl divided by 2. So if you put 18 points worth in there, you're going to get 9 points at the end of the turn if you don't bust. Okay? So that's in there too. But Bruce, is there more?
Bruce, is there more?
Oh my goodness, there's so much more. There's also Loco Weed. So Loco Weed is a brand new element that it has no value printed on it because its value is determined by its power. So one side of it says you're going to get the number of rat tails plus 1 to a maximum of 4. So you can tank the game, go long in Loco Weed, and do really well. The other side is a joker. It says, look at the last colored chip you pulled out. I am now the same value and the same power. So super cool. But Bruce, is there any more?
But Bruce, is there any more?
Oh my goodness, there is. There's a reason it's called the Herb Witches. There are 3 witches. At the beginning of the game, you're going to get a gold penny, a silver penny, and a copper penny. And I'm going to do this just for video. I'm going to flip this over so that you can look at all the great things on the back of the box. So you have 3 different witches. There are 4 of each color witch, of silver, of copper, of gold. At the beginning, you're going to shuffle up and pick 1 of each witch to help you. If you give the witch a penny, she will break the game for you. So in some cases, the witch says, give me your copper penny, and even if you've exploded this round, you still get all of the benefits. Or my favorite is, give me your gold penny. And if you played Quacks, if you've heard more about Quacks, you're never allowed to look in your bag. You can touch things, but you can't look. With that witch, she lets you dump your bag out on the table, look through for certain tiles she likes, and she'll give you points per tile. So not only does she give you a point bonus, she also gives you an amazing chance to look in your bag. So all kinds of stuff coming in that. We have it here at Gen Con, but in just offensively limited quantities for reasons outside of our control. It will be hitting your local stores mid to late September.
So the take-home message is, I need to make an additional friend to play this game with me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you have people around you and they're not super fantastic, I'm not going to tell you to bring somebody in that shouldn't be there. But if you can make another friend, 1, it's always good to make another friend. 2, bring them in, show them this amazing game.
Sounds good. So we've got a next game to take a peek at now, right?
Absolutely.
Let's bring it over.
Here we go. This is Oceans. First thing I'm going to show you is this is the cover of Oceans. But also, this is the cover of Oceans. It is a double cover game. All of the pertinent information is on the 4 sides of the box. So Oceans is in sort of the same family as the game Evolution, but it's very different. If you've played Evolution, and you may or may not, but if you have, the riddle of Evolution as a game is make as many species as possible to get as many cards in your hand as you can so you have currency to make your engine work. This is a different riddle. The riddle of this game is, how am I going to feed all of my species with only 1 feeding turn? I know. So the deal is one of our designers on this, Brian O'Neill, is actually an oceanographer. And Brian said, we wanted to make an expansion to Evolution at first. And he said, you can't do it because the land and the sea are so different that you'll never see them. You'll never see a giraffe and a whale near each other unless it's a zoo. Because at the coastline they meet, but when they go their separate ways, it's like 2 different planets. So why you have so many scientists that look into both sides of our Earth. So we wanted to play this completely differently. Everything in this game can attack. Unlike in Evolution, where you need to have a carnivore card, in this, unless you have specialized to not attack, you are always going to be able to attack everything. Also, body size doesn't matter, because 40,000 very determined small fish can take down a whale with just moxie, grit, determination, and the ability to school. So with that, it lets you do all kinds of things. The main thing to note from this game is there's a core deck of 11 traits that we call the Surface. The Surface is going to feel very much familiar to you from what you've seen in Evolution in the past. The gameplay is a little bit different, but they all balance on the head of a pin. You can play them over and over and over again and learn new things. Also, all of the art is done by Kathy Hamilton, who has done all the art for the games. Here's where it gets crazy. There's an extra deck of cards called the Deep. The Deep is 100 unique cards with something like 78 unique pieces of art. The Deep represents the known world, the edges of what science has learned, and that which cannot exist. So it's going to give you things like a cavitation bullet. Have you ever seen that? I believe the Oatmeal did a thing about the shrimp that's beautiful, but if it moves its arms, it can like boil the water in front of it. That's a cavitation. We have a cavitation bullet where it's that, but it can fire a bullet out. We've got one that's called Draconic, where it becomes a dragon. We have a Kaiju. We have one just called Sparkles. But then we also have things like the bubble nets and giant size and slow metabolism. So it's everything we know exists, some things we think exist, and some things like the Hydra, which don't exist. You can use those cards, you can play them, but when you bring them in the game, they actually have a cost on them. You have to pay points to be able to bring them in the game. In addition to those, all of the food you can get, before there was the watering hole, and it was where all the food lived. Now the ocean stretches over multiple areas. So part of what you can do is manipulate where the fish are moving to work most advantageous for you, while also triggering powers that are in parts of the ocean. It's a super cool game. It's the crunchiest thing that we've made. It's still very easy to explain. You can get somebody playing in about 10 minutes, because we at North Star believe very much in making games that are fun and can take a long time to learn the strategies, but that the rules are super simple and can be done super quickly. That's exactly what we've done with this. Right now, I have no idea when this is coming out. This game will be on BackerKit through tomorrow, which is, let me look at my watch, through the 5th of August. After that, if you were a backer, you're going to get it sometime probably around November. It's going to be in stores around January.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to seeing more from this.
You know, so I'm really excited to see once everybody has this in their hands and to see how excited everybody is once they actually have a chance to get under the hood and learn how this game works. Yep. Yeah.
So we've got one more thing to look at,
we
right?
always have one more thing to look at.
It's the mystery box, right?
So here's what it is, the mystery box.
Okay.
So what I'm about to show you is our 2020 game. It is going to kickstart in 2020. Hopefully it will come out later in 2020. This is Paint the Roses.
Paint the Roses.
So I'm going to pull that out. I'm going to move the box so you can see my face. Paint the Roses is an Alice in Wonderland themed cooperative deduction game. People are saying that it very much reminds them of Cryptid but co-op. Here's how it works. You are gardeners for the Queen of Hearts. If you know anything about the Queen of Hearts, you know she doesn't really care much about gardens. She cares very much about cutting off your head. That's what she's known for, and that's what she cares about. So you are these gardeners. You are doing everything that you possibly can to figure out how to put together the garden for the Queen of Hearts. She has said to you, I'm going to give you a rule on how to make my garden, but if you tell anyone, I'll cut off your head. So you have to convey what your rule is by how you plant the bushes. There are 4 colors. They are purple, red, pink, and yellow. There are 4 shapes, sorry about that, hearts, diamonds, clubs, and spades. Thank you. Let me flip that over. So you are the card gardeners here. There is the Queen of Hearts. She's ready to cut off your head. And then we'll explain what this little arch does in just a second. Let me put it in there correctly. There we go. So she has certain rules, and we'll show you how the rules are going to be presented. They're cards that are color to color, or shape to shape, and color to color, shape to shape, or color to shape. Sounds a little confusing when I say it quickly, but it will make sense in a moment. On your team, up to 1 person can have the easiest card, which is color to color. And, as a note, because I've done this more, these are just banded together really strangely, so I just flip the whole deck over. You would pull the top card off. So when I flip them over, your rule is pink to red. On your turn, you are allowed to plant 1 bush to tell people what your rule is, but you cannot talk about it. So you might take this, and you would plant it here. You then have cubes. You can put 1 cube on the tile you just planted, because that says the tile that I've planted matches 1 tile. Now, when you see the card is color to color, I've put pink next to red. I've put 1 cube on it. It must be pink and red. Now, if somebody else had a card that was diamond to club, they could also put a cube on there to tell you about what they have going on. Player is going to place 1 of these down. Then everybody has to guess 1 rule. If you guess the rule correctly, there's points in the corner of the rule right here. It's 1 point. Your gardeners move up. If you're wrong, the Queen of Hearts will start to chase you. If the Queen of Hearts gets to you, she cuts off your head and you lose the game. If you can plant the entire garden, she gets 1 more movement, and if she doesn't get you, you win. Okay? Things to know. If you get through one of these arches at like every 10 points, she gets angrier and angrier that you figured it out. You snap a new base on, and now she has doubled her movement. If you manage to get past 20, she'll get another base. And now she's moving 3 to 6 shots per turn trying to catch you. Once again, every single time you must guess. And one of your cards can be the easy peasy color to color. The other ones you have to deal with color to color, shape to shape, or color to color, shape to shape, color to shape. The reason you would go in the harder ones, one is you're obligated to, and two, these are worth 1 point, these are worth 2 and 3 points, these are worth 4 and 5 points. But if I had something like this, spade to spade, I would play this here, I would then put 2 cubes on there, and you say, well, if it's purple to purple, he would only be able to put 1 cube. If it's purple to yellow, only 1 cube. If it's spade, it must be spade to spade. It's the only way it works. We'll guess your spade to spade. We get 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they move further along.
What happens if you don't have a legal move between your 4 options?
So there is no such thing as an illegal move. Moves only, you don't have to help with your rule, you just should. You also can do this. If none of them work for you and none of them are advantageous, remember we're working on 4 rules. I can't talk to you about my rule, but I can talk to you about everyone else's. So what I can do is say, okay, maybe we learned something over here. And I say, well, let's narrow some options down and put another club there to see what's going to happen and how things are going to match up. Because you can also place your cube. So we'll say, oh, wait a minute. I think we figured yours out. Because every turn you must guess one of the rules at the table. So you don't always need to figure your rule out. You just need to help figure someone's rule out. The other cool thing about it is, so let's say you're way ahead of the queen and you just have it going and you figured it out. If you know you're going to beat her, we're going to have this journal in here. The journal actually gives you kind of a high score of how our characters in the game have done, but eventually how you and your friends have done. So you can choose to start making some wackier guesses towards the end if you know you're safe to try and beat the high score. Yep. So this will be coming out Kickstarter 2020. They're telling me right now there's probably going to be a standard edition that kind of looks like what we have here, and then a deluxe edition where these might be like the Azul tiles where they're like Bakelite, and the queen might be 3D printed, and these might be plastic, and that kind of thing. And then also a regular edition. If we do a deluxe edition, it would be available during the Kickstarter and then on our website. And the regular edition would be everywhere we can possibly get it, every corner of the world where somebody would like to play a game like this. Yep.
No, this is fantastic. You've shown me such a diverse lineup of games here at North Star, and I really appreciate that you guys have got a little bit of something for everyone.
Oh, that's exactly what we try for. And don't forget, we still make Happy Salmon. We make Dude. We have Dirty Pig, which is a fantastic game for kids and adults. So there's just a lot of stuff. You can check us out at northstargames.com if you want to take a look. Join the email list. We would love to have you on there. Or if you want to check us out on social media at North Star Games, like everywhere that use social media.
Fantastic. Bruce, I want to thank you again for taking the time to show me everything. I had a fantastic time, and you're an awesome person.
Thank you so much. Michael, you are also very wonderful as well. And all of you out there, thank you so much for listening. And here's what I want you to do. If you're viewing, if you're watching, if you like Michael's content, I want you to take the time to go on social media and share it. You do not realize how much help that is to just let other people know about the great content people are making. They're coming to Gen Con, they're taking the time to have meetings and talk to all of the publishers, and we appreciate it so much. But if you like what Michael's doing, please take the time somewhere to just let people know about it. It is an amazing help, and I'm sure, thank them, Michael.
Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it.